Space Marine 2 has been a giant win for everybody involved, from gamers all the way up to Focus Entertainment and Saber with their companies, because they've just embraced the gamers. They've embraced the fact that gamers want fun, they want action, they want Gears of War, but not in a Warhammer skin. Pretty simple to make a fun game. And the success has been so crazy that it is just resounding across the internet. Now, the woke activists out there have been mostly silent about this, mostly like doing things, with Kotaku and IGN trying to cancel Saber's CEO as of last week, as we saw, for just interacting with Asmongold because they didn't want him to give anybody validity who's a real influencer who actually helps sell video games. And the guy actually went out and said, we just want games to be fun. We don't want it to be about these like political messaging, and that's the deal. And that sent them just spiraling this last week. I've done some coverage of a couple of the woke Warhammer influencers who are just losing their minds, attacking gamers, attacking Warhammer 40K fans. Their mask has come off with all of this, which is another win for us. It really is, because the more that they go unhinged, the more everybody sees them for what they are. And the more that these companies can't, just go out there and give them deals and pat their backs and use them as their mouthpieces, because that's going to upset the fans even more. It's going to be a big deal. And so we've got a giant win on a couple fronts here, as we see that Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2 success, Saber Interactive, it hints at new story downloadable content, which we kind of knew was coming, and a sequel being discussed. And there's more, just from some tweets that Endymion actually was showing off earlier this morning, which is great. And we're going to just celebrate our victories, because we should celebrate the victories as much as we take a look at the losses that we lose from these companies as they circle the drain with woke content with a lot of these properties. So let's enjoy it. Enjoy the morning. Enjoy our patriotism, our loyalty to the God Emperor. And thank you guys for being there. My name is John Delarose. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we discuss all things Warhammer 40K, and of course, all things science fiction. And I'm a science fiction writer myself. I've got a Crusading in Space trilogy out there, which I'm working on developing some more content for. So I hope you'll enjoy this. And it's on Amazon. You've got a 3-book trilogy. You'll absolutely love this if you love Warhammer 40K, at least the old stuff. The Black Library stuff. I love Dan Abnett especially. So check this out. It's in the description below. Really appreciate you guys for reading. We've had a heck of a month. And yes, all 3 are up there for you to enjoy. And thank you again. So Saber Interactive's Chief Creative Officer Tim Willits shared the following successes of Warhammer 40K. Space Marine 2's success. The developer is discussing plans for new story downloadable content as well as a potential sequel. Now, the one complaint that people have with the game so far is that it is too short. Even though it's a tight story, it does follow up on the first one pretty well with the characters that were from the first one, which is nice. It has a nice ending out there that is good for people who are familiar with the lore. And I won't spoil things on that level, but you can go find it for yourself if you've not seen it. And but it was short. It definitely was short. And so they now need to get some more story out there to keep the gamers invested in this. And I think that's a great thing. I'm kind of sad that it's downloadable content. I don't like downloadable content models, and I would rather them just have it come with the game. I mean, but we are in this era in 2024. This is kind of expected at this point, so that's good. It needs to be done. This needs to add more to the game to keep people interested in this. And he said right here, Todd Hollinshead, former CEO of ID Software, and I believe Space Marine 2 is the fastest selling game we've ever worked on, including Quake, Doom, Wolfenstein, and Rage games over the years. And this just goes to show at this point just how starved gamers are for this kind of content, for content that's fun, for content that's action-packed, for content that actually has that awesome sci-fi setting. I mean, it always does well like this. Any game that has a sci-fi setting that does well, like that has some depth to it, always does well. From old Star Wars games like Knights of the Old Republic to Mass Effect, I know that they've destroyed that franchise as well. But like if you look at those, like every time somebody does a sci-fi setting well, and they actually give you a good game, Halo's a great example too, right? Of course, Gears of War is another great example. Every time, it's just a massive success. That is what gamers want. They want a cool sci-fi setting. They want some action. They don't want to have to deal with all the weird woke politics and stuff like that. And if you give them some half-decent graphics, if you give them some simple gameplay, that's just fun. That's it. That is the recipe for success. Like, everybody should figure this out at this point. It shouldn't be that hard. But for some reason, video game companies just can't deliver this kind of thing, or they refuse to. Maybe they just think it's some kind of artistic thing that we have to go full Concord with things. We have to redesign the wheel 1,000 times and then spend $400 million developing something that just like ends up being a dud. You don't have to do that. It's the same thing in books, honestly. This became a #1 bestseller pretty easily. I was like, okay, crusading in space sounds fun, and readers just flocked to it. It was pretty obvious. But for some reason, again, mainstream companies just don't want to do this. And so Focus Entertainment posted that 2 million Space Marines have joined the fight to protect the Imperium in Space Marine 2. We are so grateful. That's a lot of players right there, doing very, very well. And this game now is just blasting past a lot of the other AAA games this year very, very easily. Suicide Squad failed, did not hit this at all. Star Wars Outlaws, there's no way it's going to hit this. And Assassin's Creed Shadows, no way it's going to hit this. Conquered, of course, we saw just had hundreds of players. So this is pretty up there. Now, Black Myth Wukong did a little bit better with 10 million, but it had a lot of other things going behind it. And this is a property that, Warhammer is, in theory, something that like you have to be invested into 40K in order to get into this. But 2 million actually shows that beyond 40K players, people are just checking it out as a sci-fi property that looks like a fun game. And so it's kind of transcended into the zeitgeist. That's a big deal right there. And so I hope that this bodes well for a lot of the games. You see that the all-time peak for players concurrent was 225,000, huge. And there are 46,000 players as of just the other day. Pretty crazy. So doing pretty well all the way around. So he talked to IGN. Unfortunately, he's still talking to people at IGN. Yeah, these people that should be talking to That Park Place, whose article I'm reading right now, they're the ones actually standing for real gamers. He says, our game director, he's proposed some story ideas that could either be a downloadable content or sequel. We're literally just catching our breath. This is 2 weeks out. We need the dust to settle. I can confidently say we will not disappoint our Warhammer fans in the future. Awesome. Love hearing that. Look at that. Look at how it's great. Just these company like people here are actually saying they appreciate the fans. They're doing what the fans want. Can you imagine if Games Workshop actually acted like this? Just how much of a better community we'd have. My gosh. It's too big of a success. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but hopefully we'll be working on Space Marine content for a long time. To a sequel, he said, we just have to figure it out. We would love to do it. Yes. There's so many different factions. There's other chapters, too, that are interesting. Absolutely, too. I would love them to explore the greater Warhammer universe for sure. That'd be amazing. He shared one reason we got 25 million people in World War Z is because every time we released a new downloadable content pack or a free class and we had a sale, people buy it. We literally see a spike. We put out a video promoting a new character pack. We see a spike in sales. So it drives attention and drives awareness. There's always one guy that says, guys, come on, there's new stuff coming up. And then, okay, so 3 other people are like, it's only $5, let's buy it. And you get this kind of group FOMO thing going on that really helps. We had so much success with that model. That's what we'll do. So it's definitely coming in the future here as it's going. So Focus Entertainment said they're developing new classes for the game. They relayed, it's definitely something we are heavily discussing. Adding a new class is quite heavy on production. We also need to create all the customization, PvP Chaos model variant, and animation depending on what we go for. We'll keep you updated about this topic. There will also be new melee weapons, which will definitely be extremely cool addition. Making a weapon, designing it is fine, but we need to make all finishers animations for it. It will take time. So there's going to be some new stuff coming out. Going to be very exciting for the game. And 2 million players. This is fantastic. I love this news. Let's keep it going, keep the wins rolling, because this is how we're going to save things like Warhammer and save things in science fiction, save gaming. We're doing it. You play the games that are good. You reject the games that are bad. It is that simple. Just don't buy things from Ubisoft. Let them fail and enjoy your time with Space Marine 2. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button, my friends. Please check out Justified Saga of the Nano Templar, my book on Amazon, plus its 2 sequels. Grab them all today. Appreciate you for being there. We'll be back soon.